tell you the story of what happened with my haircut. So my girlfriend, I was asking everyone, yeah, this might turn long, so maybe I'll break into two parts here. So I'll tell you the story of my haircut. I was asking all around, and I was trying to find people that had been to a salon somewhere where it's not like a $10 haircut, because I do care about how masculine this looks and everything. Who had been to somebody who knew what they were doing and was well trained, but also did men's hair and hopefully would be open to what I told them I wanted to do and wouldn't just say, as all the other hairdressers I've ever had, oh, let me French braid it and put bows in it. I had this lady do that once, and I was like, no, I don't want that. And she was like, but you'll look so cute. And I've had people do that, and I've seen people do that, and I've been so worried about that. That was the last thing I was worried about as we were driving there. Actually, I wasn't worried as we were driving there, but before we were driving there, I was worried about that. So, I asked around, and my mom found somebody who they said worked at a cheaper place. I don't know how to say that. A place where they're not as, I don't know, lesser quality, whatever. But who supposedly really listened to you. But I would have had to wait until right now, or not right now, but an hour ago, this morning. And I didn't really want to do that. And the lady that my girlfriend had been to supposedly was really good. I found it recommended by some guys on the internet. Don't listen to the internet always, because it's not always, it might lie to you. I'm sorry if that's news to you, but the internet is not a faithful monogamous companion. It does sometimes cheat and lie. Anyway, so I went to her and I was like, I decided to go to this lady that my girlfriend had recommended and said was pretty open, and seemed like she was cool, so I was just like, okay, whatever, I don't know, alright, I'll try it. So made an appointment, and my girlfriend came over and we took some pictures with my long hair, which you're not going to see, but I have to keep in case I ever want to look at them. And my mom took a couple pictures, and my mom ended up not coming, and she said she wanted to cook dinner for everyone, but we all ate dinner before we left. So and she just started teaching again, so she's busy, but I think she would have come if I really begged her. But I think I'm glad it was something that I did on my own, and it would have been tough for her, so I'm glad the way it worked out. So we drove there, and the whole way, a little bit when my girlfriend first came over, we talked a little bit about it, and I was nervous a little bit, and I kind of got through the last stages of being like, this is so real, this is happening, and being scared, and in some ways it was sort of like opening night if you're a theater person, or the really lame analogy of going on a roller coaster. You decide whether or not you're gonna do it, and then you get in line and you're all psyched up, and I decided, I was we were driving, and I was like, this is gonna sound so lame, for me at least, because I'm not a huge mind over matter person. I mean, I believe in that, but I'm not a huge, whatever. But I was like, alright, positive thoughts, and good energy, and whatever, that's how it's gonna be. And I was psyched the entire time. I plugged in my iPod, and I was listening to Celtic rock music and all these really manly songs, and I was like, oh, I gotta go get my hair cut now, and it was, I'm sure it was really funny if you were there, and I'm glad she didn't laugh at me. She was really nice. She's a very nice person. She didn't laugh at me, which was really nice of her. But so we got there, and I was walking in, and I was like, so real, and I walked in, and there were beauty products everywhere, and I saw this chick I know from the theater, girl, whatever, I know from the theater, that I work at, and she was the receptionist, and I had to fill out this form, and I had to write my name, and I had to put my gender, and I wanted, it's not a legal thing, and I wanted so much to just put A, or Amarin is how you pronounce it, but most people end up saying Amarin, in case you didn't know that. People that don't really want to take the time to learn how to say it, which is okay, because it's a long name, and if they're willing to try, then for right now, I don't really care how I'm going to say it, but anyway, and I circled female, and I just, because the lady, when I made the appointment, I had to give my first name, and she was cutting my hair and she knew it was long, and I was just like, okay, I won't deal with this right now, before I even get it cut. So, I filled it out, and I told her that, like, girl was cutting my hair, and she's like, oh, no, oh, that's so sad, and I was like, yeah, whatever, cool. So I went back, and I told the lady, I was like, she's like, okay, what do you want? And she didn't know what I was doing at all, and I didn't know if they did Locks of Love, but I said, alright, I'm donating it, I want to donate it to Locks of Love, and I pulled out the pictures that I showed you guys, I added a couple on there, and I was like, I want it to look like this. I had this little speech in my head, in case she didn't listen to me, but I only had to say a little bit of it. I said I want it to look really masculine. I don't even remember what I said. I think I even said I don't want it to look like a lesbian cut. Or I either said that or I don't want to look like a girl at all. I actually do want it to look like a guy. I do. I think I just said I do want it. I don't think I said the lesbian thing. I actually do want it to look like a guy. And I pointed the picture, and she was like, oh, okay. She goes, yeah, no, totally. And she seemed to really be listening and to really get it, and she really looked at it, and she was like, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your hair and split it into a bunch of ponytails, because there's a lot of it, and since you're getting it cut so short, we don't have to worry about trying to cut it all at one length and save length. And I was like, well, that's cool. So I have a really funny picture, which I'm also not showing you guys, sorry, but of me, and I look like an alien or a potted plant. I look like one of those mandrake things in Harry Potter that grow in little potted plants, if my head then, like, grew tons of hair, or Medusa. It was really funny, and she cut it all off, and I ended up having enough, I had 8 ponytails, which is over enough for a wig, so I'm really excited. I know that, I can be pretty sure that it's not going to be, like, a color that doesn't match, or whatever, and they're going to just sell all of it. It'll actually get turned into a wig. At the longest, it was a little over 25 inches, so, and it didn't get much shorter than that either. It was roughly the same length all around, so hopefully that'll make some kid happy. She was like, now if you start to cry, I'm gonna cry, and so I'm just warning you, because I'm really emotional, and my girlfriend was smirking, because I just don't cry, ever, so, my girlfriend was like, she's not gonna cry. Didn't say that. She was just sitting there over to the side watching the whole thing with the huge mirror and everything, and I haven't had my hair cut in a really long time, so it's actually kind of fun just to get it cut. But anyway, so they cut it, and she was like, now, I'm gonna keep saying, like, if you start to get upset, I'm gonna keep saying this is for charity and everything, and she got the scissors, and she did, and she's like, alright, you ready? So you want a picture? And yeah, I took a picture, and then she was like, alright, you ready for this? Like, you ready to go? And she had the scissors, and she checked with me, which I thought was really nice. And I was like, yes, I'm ready. And I don't know, by that point, I was so pumped. It was like the start of this whole euphoria sort of build-up, that I don't know, it was kind of new, and I was like, alright, and I was so pumped. And as she cut it off, I wasn't sad, I was just thinking, yes, like, this is so awesome, this is what I want. And I'd expected to be excited at the end, kind of, but I hadn't expected to have that reaction. I was just like, this is what I want. This is so awesome. Yes. And then she was like, I'm going to hand you, and she said, I'm going to hand you your ponytails, and you're just going to have to kind of sit them in your lap, so don't be freaked out. And that was a little bit weird. Not much, but she was just, like, handing me my hair, and I've never had a real haircut. I've had it trimmed. The most I've had trimmed is about 1.5 inches, since I can remember. I haven't really had many real haircuts, so the whole thing was a little bit new, but I certainly have never had anyone hand me my hair or watched locks, like, huge, long thing, fall off, and I was sitting there holding it in my hands, and I was kind of like, this is really weird, like, I'm holding my hair, and I looked up in the mirror when she was done. I mean, I was looking the entire time, but I kind of looked at myself, and she was like, alright, so this is just, like, don't worry, this is before we've done anything with it, it's gonna look a lot better. It looks really rough now, and I just looked at it and I was like, no. I was like, that looks so good. You have no idea. Like, if it gets better from here, then great. And she was like, no, it looks really crappy. Like, it just looks like shit. Don't pay attention to it. And I was like, no. Like, you don't understand. I was like, I've wanted this for so long. So, we went over to the shampoo thing, and she had already asked, I think twice she had kind of been like, so you want it like this, right? More, a little more masculine like this, and I'm going to try to do it, and I'm going to try to do it sort of PC like this one. it'll end up looking more like this one picture I had gotten that I don't think I put in the other video, because it's going to be so used to laying down flat, and being long and being short. So it's going to be a little bit more like this, and a couple times she had brought up, kind of, and you're sure you want this, and before I got it cut, she's like, and you're sure you don't want it like this? I mean, not in a judgmental way, just in a you're sure, right? Because I don't want to, it's going to have to be really short once I do the ponytails, because she pulled them off to the side and just cut them. So it would have to be really short, and I said, yeah. And she was like, okay, whatever. She's like, even a pixie cut is going to have to be, I would do it differently. You don't want that, right? And I was like, yeah. Not judgmental at all. So we went over to the shampoo thing. And we were kind of talking about cuts, and there was this one chick there who had a mohawk, who was commenting, and there was a couple ladies, there was like a shampoo line, it was all open, there was a shampoo line up right behind my chair, and there were these 3 women there, and they're like middle-aged women who were getting their hair dyed and styled or permed. I don't even know. I don't know. And like some of them were just sitting there, 2 of them, and one of them was actually having her hair washed, and they were watching me, and it was so funny to look in the mirror, and they just kind of gave me this look like, what are you doing to yourself? What are you doing? And so the first time I got it shampooed, she just was kind of talking about whatever, and there were some different silences, and I was a little bit worried still, that, not because of her, just because I was worried that I would get a more feminine, dykish, to be stereotypical or colloquial, shortcut, and I didn't say anything. And so we went back over. Sorry, there's an airplane. Then she trimmed it up. She trimmed it up just so it was a neater thing before she styled it. And then we washed all the loose hair out again. And as we were washing it out, she's like, so, why do you want a more androgynous cut? And I don't know, I had the opportunity to say something before. And I was so excited about my hair. And I was just on this high of like, alright, here it goes. And I said, actually, I'm transgender. And I've been seeing a shrink for a couple months. And when I go back to college in the fall, at the end of this month, I'm going to try to pass as male if I can. And I want, and she, and my girlfriend told me afterwards, she was like, when you said that, I was just like, oh no. I don't know, that might not have been safe. And I said it kind of loud. I don't know what I was thinking. I was so excited. So the ladies next to me heard me, I'm sure, because they were sitting right next to me. And, I mean, I live in a place where you, like, there aren't, you have a few kids who look kind of punkish and have short hair, but there aren't people that even look androgynous. Like, I mean, you can just tell. So, I don't know what I was thinking, but the lady was like, oh, okay, so you wanna, she's like, so that's why you want the mask, so you're going the other way, right? So that's why you don't want the lesbian cut, and I was like, yeah, and she was like, oh, that's cool. She's like, wow, alright, well, and we were almost on the thing at that time, so she was like, let's walk back over, and she's like, so what college are you going to? And I was like, this college, and, she goes, oh, so you can come back and see me, and I was like, yeah, I totally will, and she's like, well, I have this friend who's transgender, and Tim, oh, actually, I guess she's Tabitha, and so it's not like she was super educated, but she's like, I'm all about acceptance, don't worry, and, alright, and she just got so excited, and she's like, I'm gonna do this, and this, and this, and I'm gonna make it masculine, I'm gonna square it off at the bottom, and it's not gonna look exactly like this masculine cut here, and I'm not gonna do a buzz because you don't want that, but I'm gonna layer it a certain way so that it's gonna look more masculine until it grows out more and gets used to, you get rid of your part, and it thickens, and then we'll slowly progress into this haircut that you want and look even more masculine, and then she went on and on about how she, like, had started a gay club at her school, at her college, and all this different stuff, and it was just a miracle. Like, I'm sure most of the hairdressers in the area are like that, and I was so, so grateful